Calgary Stampede went into Ward Paddock and up towards it.
Well, hello everybody, it's Suffolk Andy here in the little village of Claydon. Nothing spectacular about Claydon at all, but there's something down here I want to show you, which is important to me really. I don't know if any of you boys and girls do your family trees or anything like that. Find out, you know, where your roots were and where you come from and stuff like that. Well, I've done my mother's on my mother's side and I've done my father's side, and you can pick up quite a few little bits and pieces, you know, that you'll be quite surprised about your family. I know on my mother's side she had a great aunt who got herself in a bit of trouble. She wouldn't pay her rent, so when the rent man came, they had a fight and she beat him up, and she had to go to prison for 6 months for beating up the rent man. So you can find all these sort of things. And another thing on my mother's side that I found out was that my great grandfather had a little bit of money. Yeah, not a lot to today's standards, but in them days he was a carpenter and his sons were carpenters, and they had a little bit of money. Just a few £100, but in them days that was probably quite a bit. So you find all these things, and I found out that will, what he left in the archives, and all fascinating stuff, you know. But I just want to show you something here, because it shows how things can change. Just get down the bottom here. Not a lot to see. I don't even think I can get on the site. Oh, private property, danger, keep out, tree cutting. Well, just down there where I'm pointing, where these trees are being cut, used to be the workhouse, Claydon Workhouse, and both my great grandfather and great grandmother both died there, paupers, not a penny, never had a penny, and they died in the workhouse just down there. And there is actually a graveyard here that nobody can seem to find where they put these people. I know my grandfather and grandmother weren't buried here, they were buried somewhere else. They got no markers because they couldn't afford nothing, they had pauper graves. And what I'm trying to say here is you should always remember where your roots are. You know, I've seen so many people who forget where they come from, you know, and I think you should always remember your roots. They're very important to you. And I know that I came from work and stock people on the land. I had one or two who made a few pennies, but then landed up, their children's children landed up dying in the, you know, in the workhouse. And so it just proves what goes round comes round. You know, you can think that you were doing very well, and you can forget your roots, and you think you're up there with the elite, and the next minute you can find yourself without a pot to piss in. So life's like that, you know. And I think if you've got a good grounding of where you come from, where your roots are, and what them folks done to pave the way for you, that'll make you better in life anyway. I'm going to make my way out this way. It's quite a nice little road. There's a huge great hall here, as you can see, go up there, where all the money was. You think all the money was there, but my great grandparents were dying in the workhouse just across the road. That shows you the inequality that there was at that time, you know. People on one side of the road were treated like shite, and on this side of the road they lived in bloody luxury. But that's the way of the world. It's a little bit like that still today, I think. You know, definitely like that today. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that because I'll go into a bloody rant. I will. We're all supposed to be born with the same chances, but it seems to me some people just don't get the chances of others, and now I find that quite sad. But anyway, going back to your roots, yeah, I found out that on my dad's side we came from Scotland. We're Scottish roots. My great grandfather, his name was Sylvester, and he came down, he must have come down before they were married, because they came down to London and got married in London and had several children and whatever, but they were definitely from Scotland, and that's where my roots start from. And I know by looking at what I found on the guy, just let this fucking great truck go. You're welcome, sir. Well, you don't want a trucker up your ass while you're talking about this sort of thing, do you? So anyway, yeah, so I know they came down to London to find work, basically, and have a living, you know, which they probably couldn't up in Scotland at the time. How they got down here, I don't know. I don't know if they walked. A lot of people did. I wouldn't have thought they had enough to catch a coach, you know, a horse and coach thing, what they used to have in them days. The coaches, they were quite expensive for the poor people. Most people will have to walk all the way and work on the way down to get a meal or get something like that. So yeah, so I know I'm from Scotland. Everybody knows I'm Andy, so it's Andrew, but with a slant of McDonald in your name, which I've got, and Hutchison, Hutchison, which means son of, and that means that my family probably were indebted to the McDonald clan. In them days, not everybody was clansmen, but you lived under their domain, and you had to do that bit for them, you know. You had to give them so much a year, and if they needed you to go out fighting with them with the claymores and that, you had to go. So yeah, all interesting stuff. I think you should never forget where you come from. Never get above your station. Never think you're better than the other man, because you're not. Always keep your feet grounded on the ground. It doesn't matter how much wealth you acquire, how much property you require. I bet you if you look back in your families, you'll find if you're working class people, a lot of them were poor. And if it weren't for them people, nothing would have happened for you, because everything that is done in history reverbs through time. So if they never done what they done, you wouldn't have got the chance to do what you done. I'm out near Needham Lakes at the moment, which we've been to before, so I'm not going to stop there. Yeah, so just think about that. Where did you come from? Did you understand that what they done for you has brought you to where you are? Never forget your roots. Never get above yourself. Never take other people for granted. Always treat people how you want to be treated yourself. And if you did, this would be a perfect world. I ain't going to go to Bilderston. I'm not about that haunted bloody church. Right. I hope you can make sense of all that. Just my slant on family. Family's the most important thing to me. It's the most important thing in my life is my family. And I know you folks all feel the same. You know, family is very important. And you also got to remember with your kids, if you treat them shit, one day they're going to put you in a home. I ain't going to pick a good one. If you're an asshole. So, anyway, boys and girls, let's pull the throttle back and get myself home. Right, safe everybody. Love each other. Suffolk Andy.